Hey guys, Sandy here, and today I am back for Follow a Sketch February. Today we are going to be using this sketch right here by Jana Eubank. Now, Crafty Meggy is joining me through the month of June as well. She actually picked out the sketches for June, so that is super exciting. I am going to be scrapbooking these 3 photos. This is of my son when he came home from overseas. So let's see what I can do. Okay, you guys, so I remembered this time to put the sketch up in the upper left-hand corner of the screen, so point for Sandy. Now, I struggled with this layout. So, my son, obviously, United States Marine, and I have basically two albums that a lot of the stories are going to be scrapbooked in. So, I have a Marine album that barely has anything in it, and I also have the family album, and I want these things to be in both of his albums. So I'm going to scrapbook these photos twice. This one is going to go in his Marine album because that is very patriotic. It's very red, white, and blue, and that's just going to be the theme in his Marine album. And our family albums, they're not so much that way. They are much more just whatever I feel like working with at the time. And I say all that in case you're wondering why I have so much red, white, and blue. And it's not because of the photos, although the colors go great with the photos because lots of red, white, and blue in these photos. But honestly, that has nothing to do with the layout and why I chose what I did. So I have a stash of patriotic and military themed things for my son and his album, and I just pulled into that. A lot of these were already scraps of paper. You know, I have a problem with keeping scraps of paper. I really do. It stresses me out to have to flip through so many scraps. So I really try not to keep them. But for this one I do, and that's because you know, the paper is precious. In this point, the paper is precious because I feel like I have such a limited stash of it. And every time I see a patriotic line come out or military line, I usually pick up something. Even though I probably have more than enough to scrapbook with for all the things. So far in his military career, but I still pick it up. I don't know what it is, but there's something where I just feel like for this project I need to keep the scraps. I don't even feel that way with the Disney papers, but for this one I'm like, yes, the scraps. I need all the scraps. Now, my background paper is this paisley background, and it is a cream based, and so are just about every other paper that I bring in here. I do bring in this gold, so if you've seen the Marines dress blues, they are some snazzy looking uniforms, you guys. And I always associate gold with it, and I don't really know why. They've got, like, you know, the buttons and the eagle, globe, and anchor on their cover, and so I just associate gold, and I felt like I needed to add some gold into this layout, but I wasn't like looking to add sparkly gold. I didn't want to go that way, so I brought in this little block of yellow paper, and I've done that before on other layouts that have nothing to do with the military. I've done layouts in a certain color theme and then throw in an extra pop of color. And I really like the way that like it really brings your attention to the layout. Because you could look at this and if it was all red, white, and blue, you would be like, oh yeah, happy, patriotic, yeah. But then with the pop of yellow that I have on this page, it like grabs your eye. And with this page, I really want your eye to be grabbed. I don't journal on this page at all. And I think I'm okay with that. And here's the reason why. So since this is going in his military album, I plan to have a bunch of journaling in there. journaling about how I felt when we dropped him off on Mother's Day. Journaling about how I got that first phone call when he was in boot camp, and they call and basically say, you know, this is Recruit Reversky, I am alive, I am well, I am safe, and they hang up. And I just remember we were in bed and we got the call, and I'm crying, I'm sorry. We were in bed and we got the call, and I looked at my husband, I was like, play it again, and he was like, Sandy, it's not a recording. And I was like, oh yeah, it's not. I can still hear him. I still hear his voice. I still hear how he was losing it. His voice. I'm losing it now. And I still hear that, and I still feel that moment. And it's still so very poignant. But I haven't been able to journal about it because this happens. I start crying. So I'm okay with not getting journaling down on this page. I'm totally okay with it. And I'm also mixing my metals because, as you saw, I fussy cut out that bunting, and then I adhered it to just a white sheet of paper, and then I covered up that join with some blue washi tape with silver stars on it. So I do have like the yellow for the pop of gold, and then I have the silver as well. And I'm completely okay with mixing my metals. It doesn't bother me whatsoever. I especially like doing it at Christmas time, but I don't mind doing it at other times either. So now I'm just going to go ahead and figure out what I'm going to map my photos on, or even if I map my photos, I can't even remember. But this was not at graduation from boot camp, and this was not then. This is when he came home from overseas for the first time to stay. Like, he was home, not just home for a quick visit on leave and then back he went. This was him being home. He's still in the military, not home forever, but this was like his trip home between places where he was being stationed. So I have this really old die cuts with a view like glitter paper, and it's not like glitter paper now. It's kind of like sparkly with a plasticky coating on the top almost. And that's how glitter paper was back in the day, guys. Like, here we have a history lesson. This is how glitter paper was back in the day. So I'm just going to go ahead and get my photos placed down. And I do know that in the sketch, they're a little bit kind of like bouncy a little bit, but I'm not going to go that way. I would much rather have this as straight across the page, and I really like my bunting across the page. So I want this like bunting like this, and I want to decorate for the patriotic holidays, but I've just never done it, and I keep saying I'm going to do it, I'm going to do it, I'm going to do it, and I never do it. I don't know why. I should probably just do it. I don't know why. So I am going to trim down the bunting on this scrap of paper as well, and I'm doing this by going alternating into where the bunting meets in kind of the V shape. And, you know, we're just going to make that happen. And then I'm going to follow the sketch and see how it has kind of that little rectangle up in the upper left-hand corner. That's where I'm going to put the bunting. Now, I thought about adding in a bunch of layers under the bunting and really like livening up the space over there, but I decided not to. I just decided that the bunting was good enough because it is a bright red and white over top of the cream and like less bright white background paper. So I felt like it, you know, it popped enough. It's not like screaming in your face, here I am, look at me, but it's still there. It gives you a pop, right? So I'm just going with that. Now I was thinking about adding in some more stars, and at first I was going to put them horizontally, but ultimately I decided to make them go vertically. I just felt like I needed a little more height on this like cluster of paper over here. I just felt like it needed to go up ever so slightly. So I went ahead and did that, and then I brought the scrap down to the bottom as well so that it looked like it went entirely across the page. And then I just grabbed a scrap piece of paper to make sure that it was lined up. And then I'm adding a bunch of adhesive because, you know, I don't want things to pop off. I just don't want them to. So we're gonna go ahead and get that down. And then I have these stars that were sitting on my desk from another layout. So I had created a rainbow layout, and I had put these fabric gold stars on the layout as well, and I had too many of them, so they've just been sitting on my desk, and I decided that the stars needed to go on this layout because of the gold color. And like I said, I think of gold as one of those colors when I think of the Marines, just because of their dress uniform. So I pull out this black thicker sticker from Vicky Boutin. It says "You Are," and then I pull out some really old thickers in yellow that says I spell out the word "home," and I know that that is like the obvious title, but I like it, and I want that home, that word, to pack a punch when you look at this layout. Like, you're going to know that he's home. And if you couldn't get that by the hugging photos, then you sure as heck is going to get it by the bright yellow letters that say home. And then I'm just messing around with the stars and trying to figure out exactly where I want them to go, like which part of the layout needs the little touches of gold, and which part doesn't. So I do pull out these white enamel dots from Cocoa Vanilla Studio, and yes, I am using them on this page. Doesn't matter that they are not being used on Cocoa Vanilla pages. To me, enamel dots are enamel dots, and if the color matches somewhere, I'm going to use it. Fun fact, my husband has been watching my videos because he knew I was looking for black enamel dots, and I got some for my birthday on Monday. So, like, good job, babe. So now I'm just going to use my Nouveau Deluxe adhesive, and I'm going to add some glue to all the little things so that they don't pop off, because it sucks, guys, when you're flipping through your albums and stuff has popped off and the glue's given out and the glue stick is dried up, and it just sucks. So it's better to add extra adhesive than to have everything fall apart. Now, I really do love the Nouveau Deluxe adhesive. It is the only wet glue that I have continued to use. I bought a really good bundle deal on International Scrapbooking Weekend, and my husband saw my post where I had posted an affiliate link, and he bought it too. So I got glue for my birthday too. So that was exciting. Now, while I am wrapping this up, guys, please make sure that you click the link down below to see Crafty Meggy's take on this sketch. Like I said, she is joining me again through the month of June, and this month Meggy picked the sketches, so that was super exciting and fun. I do take my Uniball Signo pen, and I'm just putting a white sketchy border around the outside of the layout, just because I felt like I needed something to kind of contain it. You can barely see it on the video, but you do see it much better in person. And then I decided, well, you've already done one, you might as well keep going. So I think I end up writing like these little sketchy lines on every single little piece of paper here. Even that tiny little bit of gold, basically all you see is the white line there, but you know, I felt like it needed it. So now I have the outline on all of them, and I think this is going to be the last thing I do. Oh yeah, gotta outline the very last one. Yeah, I think this is going to be the very last thing I do. Now I do have to add a date to this. But like I said, the journaling will be some epic journaling in a wholly separate way. All right, guys, thank you so much for watching. Be sure to click the link down below to see Crafty Meggy's take on the sketch. You can also see my Follow a Sketch Friday Pinterest board, and just click on that link too. I'll see you guys again real soon for another video.